The next time you're looking for a fun and easy to make hors d'oeuvre, don't forget pigs in the blanket. Served with an assortment of mustards and a nice glass of Riesling wine, it makes a great party hors d'oeuvre. First written recipe for pigs in a blanket does go back to 1957, but in fact the origin goes back as far as the 1600s, when field laborers put meat inside of dough for a quick and portable meal to go. Whatever its origins, these little delights have become a national favorite. And did you know that April 24th is National Pigs in a Blanket Day? There really is nothing easier than making pigs in a blanket. You need only two things. You need a package of Little Smokies, which can be found in the deli department of your favorite grocery store, and 1 can of Pillsbury Crescent rolls. It's a good idea to lightly flour your breadboard, and then as you unroll your crescent dough, you'll see a seam right down the middle. So you're going to just cut here and divide this into 2 parts. While I'm working with the one part, I'm going to put it back in the other part back in the refrigerator. I'm going to take your rolling pin and just lightly roll out your crescent dough. Add a little flour if you need it. The first thing that you need to do is to count your little Smokies so that you can decide how many strips you need to cut. And there are 40 Smokies. So I'm going to cut this right down the middle. And then each of these, because remember I have another half in the refrigerator, will be cut into 10 strips. Okay, cut it in half, and then each of your halves will be cut into 5 pieces. And so just with your eyeball, just kind of guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the same with all the other ones. So I've now cut our dough into 20 strips, and now it's time to put our little pigs in their blankets. This is such an easy process, and it's a fun project to get the kids involved with. Interestingly enough, the first documented recipe for pigs in blankets came in a Betty Crocker cookbook in 1957, and the cookbook was actually written for children. Now, of course, they didn't have Little Smokies in those days, so the pigs were actually pieces of hot dogs that had been cut and then wrapped in probably something like biscuit dough, because Pillsbury didn't come out with their crescent rolls until 1965. Once your little pigs are all wrapped up snugly in their blanket, it's time to go into a preheated 375-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So there really is nothing easier than pigs in a blanket. One of the first hors d'oeuvres I learned to make as a new bride. Served with an assortment of mustard sauces, plain Dijon mustard, a spicy Dijon mustard, and a honey mustard. It's always a popular appetizer. But what wine do you serve with pigs in a blanket? We have a wine club that meets once a month, and when we have done Riesling wines, I always bring my pigs in the blanket as the hors d'oeuvre. The acidity in the Riesling does a great job of cutting through the fat in the sausages and smoked meat. It has a crisp, fruity flavor with high mineral notes, and it just goes well with salty and savory pigs in a blanket. Look for the word Trocken on the label, which will mean it's a dry Riesling rather than a sweet Riesling. Rieslings from the Rhine area of Germany are usually bottled in brown bottles, from the Mosel area in green. A Riesling has a traditional long neck bottle in Germany and can be easily identified as a Riesling because of the shape of the bottle. The next time you're looking for a fun and easy to make hors d'oeuvre, don't forget pigs in the blanket. Served with an assortment of mustards and a nice glass of Riesling wine, it makes a great party hors d'oeuvre.